Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. Today's Saturday, I think it's 2nd. Today's Saturday, January 2nd. And super glad that it's now 2021, no more 2020. This has got to be a great year considering what we've all been through this past year. And today I actually had a really cool find when I went out in my garden. I got 2 Monarch eggs, and just when I was thinking maybe I should cut back my milkweed, I find more eggs. I did cut back some of it, so hopefully I'm okay, and there isn't anything on there that maybe Monarch shouldn't have. I don't know too much about OE, so I've got to look that up and do a little bit more research. The butterflies that I've had, they looked healthy, but I didn't test them for that. And what I've been seeing is people will get a little piece of tape, and I think you just poke their abdomen or their wing, I don't know what part of the butterfly with it, and then look at it under a microscope and see if they have any of that. But I do definitely need to educate myself a little better on that. And I do have like a digital microscope. It's not really the best, but it'll work for it. I think it magnifies stuff over 1,000 times. I forget what it is, but I've used it a couple times just looking at fibers and stuff. It looks cool. But there's that. So hopefully those little guys do well, and I'll show you a close-up of them in a second. I'll actually show you just a little bit of what's going on outside. We did have some rain this past week. We also finally had some frost, so that's pretty rare. We'll probably have at least a few more days of that, or nights actually, because the days are still pretty decent. It's warm enough for me to go work outside, and I have been lagging it out there. I still do have tomatoes. These are the ones that you guys are going to see in a second. But they're little cherry tomatoes. They're actually really sweet. I didn't think that they would taste that good considering it's now cold. But hey, I still have a ton. They're great. I'm actually going to make some ceviche tomorrow, and those are going to go in there. I also have some of the San Marzanos. These don't look like they turned out as well as they were supposed to. I'm still going to cut them up and taste them. I did bring them in before they were fully ripe, just in case something happened to them. Didn't want anything to happen to them, but it's nice to see that I can grow tomatoes all year. I've also picked green beans a couple more times, and I'm in Southern California, Riverside County to be more specific, and it's zone 9B. The days, they're slowly going to start getting longer, so that's good. I'm not looking forward to summer, but definitely looking forward to spring. Once I start doing more out in my yard, I'll give you guys a little tour of that. Right now it's pretty boring. There's not much going on. I still have pepper plants, tomato. I have tons of aloe. This, I actually cut it months ago, and it feels like it's still really good. Just the ends sealed up, so I don't really know too much about aloe. I got some cuttings from one of my friends, and wow, they're doing great in my backyard. So I got to see what else I can use this for or with. I want to look into what kind of drinks I can make with it, because I really do like those aloe drinks that you buy in the store, but they have a lot of sugar, and I'm really trying to cut my sugar. Also, just in general, trying to cut my carbs, so that's going to be really tough, because I love bread and I love sugar. Those are my weaknesses. But I have a lot of seeds out, and this is what I am attempting to get done. I want to figure out where I'm going to plant carrots, so I got a bunch of those out. My beans, I think I'll be okay to still plant beans. I'll probably just put something over them, and then I'll also start a lot of stuff in the house too. This broccoli, this is that fancy looking broccoli, I think, like the longer stems that you'll see in like restaurants. Some loofah. I want to make sponges with these, and I've seen it where people have put soap in them, because when you cut them, they're kind of hollow in there. That's where all the seeds are. So probably this summer or next fall, I don't know when they're completely dry. Probably next fall is a better time to say. That's when I can mess with these, because we'll be done with them. Brussels sprouts, I love those, so I'm going to plant some of those. Different types of lettuces, and these leafy greens, my understanding is that they're going to do better in the cold temperatures. Chard, on the other hand, we get over 100 degrees in the summer, and probably the nights are like in the 70s or something. I hate it. It's way too hot for me over here. Eventually, hopefully, someday in the future, I'll be able to move a little closer to the coast and then up north a little bit more. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I can in the future. But the chard that I have, it actually did really well in the summer. I didn't think that it was gonna like the heat like it did. It was fine. So that was really interesting. I got some peas, some green onions, cilantro. I love that stuff. The plant is really pretty. So I'm gonna figure out where I'm planting that. My chamomile, I'm gonna plant kind of close to the door. I wanna have a little spot for like a tea garden. So chamomile, I like that. I'm planting it. And I think I'm gonna plant it with some dill just because that's so pretty. And then I can just go out and cut the dill as I need. And the cilantro, I think that would just be a really pretty combination. I don't know if there are any dangers of planting those three things together. But I know I'm really gonna like the way that it looks if everything goes well. And I also have some planter boxes that I'm getting ready for them. And I'm also gonna redo my maze that I have out there. I'm gonna make it a little bit more fun for my daughter. Radishes, love those. These are good ones for kids because some of them, they only take like a month. And I don't know if this one says how long this sprouts in 5 to 10 days. Doesn't say how long it is when they're done, but I know on one of the packs of seeds that I have, it said a month. So that's really cool. That'd be something fun for kids, even me, because I'm impatient. So that would be cool. Garbanzo beans, that's gonna be fun. I can make all kinds of stuff with that. And I've never grown these before, so I don't really know what the plant looks like. It says bush habit, requires no staking. So we'll see how that goes. The wheat, I really want to make bread like completely from scratch sometime next year. So hopefully this will turn out really well. My understanding is that if I have like a 10 by 10 spot for it, that'll be more than enough wheat to make flour, whatever else I want to make with it. So that's really cool. Getting excited about this. Some of this stuff I will start indoors since it is pretty cold outside now. And I have my seed catalog. For some strange reason, they sent me 3. One of them was in somebody else's name but my address, and 2 were in my name. So super cool. There's one for me, one for my daughter, and then one that I left at my mom's so they could look through it too. All kinds of really nice pictures in here, and I've ordered so much stuff from them. It's ridiculous how many packs of seeds I've ordered. I have an addiction to seeds, but that'll be very fun. I have a couple more tomato cuttings in here. So on this middle one, I probably should have put it outside like a week ago, but I still haven't, and I'm still getting tomatoes, so I'm gonna keep that up. The bottom one is from my cherry tomatoes, these little ones, and they're really sweet. I'll probably leave them another day though before I make the ceviche with them. And I have more tomatoes somewhere else too. And then a little thing of basil up there, not sure if you can see it. That just looked really pretty. It smells good too. So I cut that and put it up there. There's a lot of stuff. Still working on making time to do it out in my garden, but I think you guys are really gonna like what I have coming later this year. So stay tuned. I'll show you a little bit outside, and I'll show you the milkweed plant that I have, and that's gonna be it for this week. There's not really anything spectacular going on out there, but just making plans. I've got a chalkboard on my wall with stuff written on there that I want to grow. I need to cut back my grapevine and kind of rework that area because I want it to also be more than just like a spot for growing. I want it to be another place where I can just go out there and sit and relax. And yeah, kind of get away from the heat a little bit, have it a little bit shaded. So I'll show you guys how that's going to come along when I start working on that area. I have a lot of compost, all the fruits and vegetable scraps, eggshells, coffee grounds, that's all going out there. So hopefully that's ready to go in the spring. I kind of made temporary compost areas in where my planter boxes were. But I'll show you guys outside real quick, so let's go out there. Here are my bushel gourds. The vine dried up, so I cut them all off of it, and now they're just finishing up drying over here, and I'll use them as planters in the spring, hopefully. Little tomato plant that's still hanging on, that grew up and over this kind of. My cherry tomato plant that I thought was done for because the spider mites had gotten to it, and so I cut it way back and I was gonna rip it out. Then all of a sudden it started getting new growth and the spider mites didn't come back like they were before, and the tomatoes, they're actually really sweet. And we did get some rain earlier this week, so that might have affected the taste a little bit, might have made them a little bit more bland, but either way there's still some really good cherry tomatoes, and I can't wait to plant some other tomatoes too. Have a nice rainbow of colors for them. Look really nice in salads and whatever I end up making with them. And this is the milkweed that I have outside. If you look real closely, there's actually a little egg. So that's what it looks like. That tiny, tiny little dot that's on there, that's the monarch egg. So hopefully in a couple days it hatches. And I brought in 2 actually. So tomorrow when it's light again, I'm gonna see if I could find any more. And well, there you have it. Thank you all very much for watching. I'm gonna set all this stuff aside so I can still work on a few other things tonight. But if you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification too, and you'll get notified when I upload new videos. I do try to keep it consistent, giving you guys a little bit of an update every week. If there's anything in particular that you would like me to show you out in my yard, or maybe a project that you want to see how it turns out for someone else, let me know. Always into trying something new, growing something new. I have space for smaller sized things out there, but thank you guys very much, and I'll see you next week.